They're stable operations. They're not investment houses, and nothing resembling what happened with AIG. So you've said the government doesn't have adequate legal authority to prevent future AIGs. In your view, what is needed specifically to prevent a future debacle like this?
Many things. You have to start by making sure that institutions that pose potential risks to the stability of the system in the context of a shock like this have a strong oversight over them with sufficiently conservative constraints on risk-taking so that they can withstand very severe stress. AIG was allowed to build up without any effective supervision, to choose their supervisor, to attach a very risky business to a set of underlying very profitable, healthy insurance companies, and that put us in a position where we should never have been as a country. Now, so you have to have a much stronger form of regulation over those institutions going forward, and you need to make sure that in the event, despite that, they get themselves in the position where they're vulnerable, that we have the capacity to deal with those situations in a way that have a more effective balance for the taxpayers as a whole. So as the Chairman Bernanke said 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I've said publicly this many times in the past, we need a more effective resolution regime as well to deal with situations like this that could cause potential risks to the stability of the system. Those two things are necessary. The challenge in getting it right, and we're going to work very closely with the Congress on making sure there's adequate tools in place both to prevent it and to manage it more quickly, more effectively.
Will you propose a legislative and regulatory remedy to prevent future AIGs?
Yes.
If so, when?
Well, we are beginning a process. We've begun a process of consultation with the relevant committees. I'm testifying in the House on the 26th of March. Before that, we plan to lay out a set of relatively detailed, concrete proposals to address just this issue.
One question that's immediate, and I started getting into this with Chairman Bernanke. For the life of me, I cannot understand why the American people should not know who the counterparties are that have gotten these billions and billions of dollars through AIG. It's been pointed out in several places that it sure looks like some of this money is going outside the United States. I mean, taxpayers are seeing billions sucked out this way, and for the life of me, I can't understand why the American people don't have a right to know who the counterparties are.
I know, I understand that view, and I know that my colleague, Chairman Bernanke, and his colleagues are looking at how to be responsive to that concern. I know they're on it, they're looking at it. There's a delicate set of legal provisions around confidentiality, which we have to figure out how to manage through, but I understand your concern, and he's working on it.
All right, I'm going to be following up with you on that, because to keep the public in the dark on these counterparties does not pass the smell test, Mr. Secretary, and I'm going to follow up with you and, again, appreciate the enormous time commitment that you've given, and we need it now. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, Mr. Chairman, could I just say one last thing on this point?
Yes.
It's very important to clarify this. You know, when the government has to act to preserve the stability of the system, we're not doing it for, and did not in this context do it for, those individual counterparties, or because of concern about the direct effects on those counterparties if were to see a disorderly unwinding of a firm that complicated and systemic. We're doing it because of the much harder to measure indirect effects on confidence and the confidence of all Americans, investors around the world, in the basic stability of institutions, in the types of insurance savings protections they bought. And it is those effects that are much more important in making the judgment about the stability of the system. But I understand your concern, and I know that my colleagues are working on how to make sure there's a level of transparency responsive to the public concern.
The Chairman's just given me 2 seconds on that point. I think that's a legitimate argument, but to keep people completely in the dark as to who's being rescued and why, in my view, Mr. Secretary, is going to undermine the credibility that you're going to need in order to make additional reforms in the financial sector. So we're going to keep working with you on it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I feel as strongly as you do.
Let me, the commitment we made to the Secretary's people was